not proud of this, but I chose the latter, all right? I was like, look, I'm 53, I moved twice, I have an AARP card, I'm the fucking victim here. So I stiffen up the shoulder, and then immediately I'm thinking like, okay, this is gonna get crazy. I have never done this with a female before. This is in public, people are gonna see this shit, what's gonna happen, right? But I'm not gonna lie to you, she started closing in, she was moving, so I like leaned in, like I really got my legs underneath me because she was built like a janitor and I was not gonna get spun around. I wasn't getting spun around, not having that on the fucking logbook, right? So I leaned into this shit, and at the last second, she turned her shoulder, and we just missed shoulders, but our forearms still slapped together with significant enough force that it warranted a turnaround. Okay? Now, I know most of you guys drive, so I will break down pedestrian etiquette really quickly in New York City. This is the deal. If you're walking down the street in New York, right? You're walking, and if you just sort of brush sleeves with somebody, you don't have to stop. You can just look over your shoulder. Hey, sorry, man. My bad. Have a nice day, right? Then there's the next level. Moves up a little bit. You're walking down the street, you actually bump into somebody, you actually have to turn around. Sorry, didn't see you. Little dojo bow. My bad. Whatever you have to do, my sensei, to keep it from escalating. And then there's the last one. You're just walking down the street and you hit so fucking hard, you gotta turn around and go like old school Dustin Hoffman, De Niro, like, hey, I'm fucking walking here, huh? I fucking moved twice, you didn't see that? You drifted 2 times, huh? So I turn around to have this confrontation. And let me tell you something, she never looked back. And I'm not gonna lie to you, that bugged me. That bugged me for like 3 days. 3 days, I'm just walking around New York, just fucking goddamn fucking bullshit. There's no fucking way you didn't do that on purpose. Who does that? Who drifts, you know? And I'm feeling this anger. It's just burning me up, and I know eventually it's gonna settle in my chest, and then one more time it's gonna be, I'm sorry, Dada, I'm sorry. It's like, I can't do this. I can't do this to my daughter, I can't do this to my kids. So I started reading up on anger. Like how to let go of shit, I think is what I Googled. And I found empathy. If you have empathy for somebody, you put yourself in their shoes, you can just, you know, figure out where they're coming from, where you're coming from, you can meet in the middle. So I said, all right, here we go. Let me put myself in her shoes. What would cause somebody to accidentally drift into your lane twice? You know? So I just started throwing shit on the wall. Hey, here we go. Did she have a club foot? No. Did she just have a stroke? Did she have Bell's palsy of her left side? You know? Was she a mummy? Did she have a wooden leg? You know? Was she one of those, those fucking diagonal walkers? You get behind them at the airport, you know, they're walking too slow, you try to go around to the right, they start dragging their suitcase over there, you go over to the left, they're coming back this way, you know, it's like they just got off a ship, and everything was just like, no, cut! Right? And I was still mad. I was still fucking mad. So I said, who gives a shit? I don't give a fuck. Lied to myself, said I didn't give a fuck, you know? So then I ended up going home. And I'm home and I'm washing the dishes, which is a very Zen-like thing to do. It's like a week later, you know, you wash dishes, you're not thinking of anything. Your brain is empty. And I'm washing the dishes, and then all of a sudden, the answer just came to me. It just floated into my head. And I just looked up, I was like, oh my God. I know why she did it. I know why she bumped into me. She bumped into me because she's a lesbian. I mean, it was right there. I was like looking 9 miles down the street, looking under shrubs. It was right in front of my face. She did it because she's a lesbian. All right, so judging by most of your silence, I will do this math for you. Come on. Let's have a little empathy here. Put yourself in a lesbian's shoes. All right? Who do lesbians date? Women. Who do they move in with? Women. Who do they get in relationships with? Women. Who do they eventually marry? Women. And I was thinking like, oh my God, I did that. I know what the fuck that's like. I know what it's like to live with one of those fucking things. I know exactly what that's. It's hopeless. Trying to make them happy. Hey, I bought you the shiny thing. Did I do it right? Huh? Trying to get them to take responsibility for their actions. Not gonna happen. The best you're gonna get is, I'm sorry, but. I know what it's like to be winning a fucking argument. You're winning, and then they turn it around. They're crying, you're apologizing. You're thinking, what the fuck just happened? How am I losing this shit? I had you on the ropes. You feel so dumb, you gotta go for a walk, and you're just thinking, how did I lose again? How did I lose again? And then you figure it out, it makes you feel stupid, and then you see some bald idiot with a giant orange mustache, and you're like, you know what? Why don't you take some of that shit? You take some of that fucking anger. Yeah. I feel so stupid that I got mad at that woman. I shouldn't have got mad at her. I should have bought her a beer. And just listened to her troubles and had empathy and be like, yeah, it's not your fault. You married a woman. I did it too. You're not gonna win. There's no winning this. Yeah. I'm telling you, if you don't believe me, do a little people watching. Take a look at the look on the average lesbian's face. All right? I don't mean a lesbian in her 20s. She's got a whole life ahead of her. She's got Christmas in her eyes, right? I mean a lesbian about 35, 36, starting to settle into what the deal's gonna be, right? And then look across the bar, find a married guy about the same age. Look at the look on his face. Look at the look on her face. Go back to his face. It's the same fucking look. Yeah. And then look at gay guys. Some of the happiest people I've ever met in my life. They're almost too happy. It's like, hey, how's it going? They're like, hi! Almost floating across the room with that lack of estrogen just yanking down your fucking dreams. Now look, it might be a front. I'm not saying all gay guys are just blissfully happy, but it's looking like a pretty good time to me. Dude, they're some of the most positive people I've ever met in my life. Any idea you have, they support it. They're just like, yes, yes, queen, yes, you're fierce, you can do it. Lesbians are up at the bar like a bunch of jaded cops. That's all fucking bullshit. What the fuck was I thinking? U-hauling after 10 days, moving in. What the fuck was I thinking? She's crazy. No, I'm telling you. I think married men and lesbians need to start hanging out more. And we got to put our heads together and try to solve our common problem, the women in our lives, so we can somehow attain the perceived happiness of the average gay dude out there. Yeah. So, if you believe in that shit, I'll give you some advice. If you're going to expand your fucking world of friends, I'll give you some advice. You can't just hang out with any lesbian. All right? You gotta make sure you're hanging out with the dude in the relationship, right? And by dude, I'm not saying she's manly, I'm not being ignorant. By dude, I just mean she's the one that gets blamed for most of the shit, right? Because no relationship is balanced. Somebody is getting away with more. Somebody's drafting behind the other. It's like a bike race. Somebody else is taking the fucking weather in the face. Right? Somebody else is fucking right behind. Oh yeah, it really is wet. Just kind of hiding under your fucking poncho. Male, female, 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 they, whatever the fuck it is you're into. Every relationship, there's the person that does the dishes and the person that lets them soak, right? They don't let them soak. They know you're gonna do them. They're just waiting you out. And after a while, you can't fucking take it anymore. They're just sitting there. You gotta go out and you start doing it. And then what do? They sit in the other room and they wait like they don't know what you're doing. And they wait till they hear pots and pans. And that's when the show starts. That's when they come running in like, what? Oh, I was gonna do those. What? And you're like, no, you weren't. They've been sitting there for 8 hours. I got my hands in room temperature waters with scrambled eggs floating around. Don't gaslight me. You're a fucking animal. You were raised by animals. Get out of my sight. Don't yell at me. Right? Yes. Every relationship has the person that will take the trash bag out of the trash barrel and do a little we're good, tie it off, and then leave it slumped against the counter like it took two behind the ear in a mob hit. And then there's the person that actually picks it up and takes it out to the curb at night and puts it in the trash can, right? My wife's hilarious, man. I love her, but she's got some of the worst excuses ever. I'm like, why don't you ever take out the trash? She goes, I would, I'm just afraid of coyotes. I'm afraid of the coyotes. It's like, so am I. So am I. They're rabid dogs. They hunt in packs of 2s and 3s. You don't do it because you don't want to do it because you know I'm going to do it. Just get the fuck away from me, please. No, I'm telling you. So, anyway, I know I said a lot of divisive shit here tonight. So before I get out of here, I want to... Let's bring the room together. It's a very divisive time. Everyone wants to feel safe. Let's bring and do a nice, normal, mainstream topic so everybody can drive home happy, no fights, all right? Sound good? All right, great. Let's talk abortion. There you go. Everybody has an opinion. It's my body, it's my right. Well, then fucking drive to Arkansas, bitch! Right? Everybody has an opinion. As do I. And I apologize that you're going to have to listen to mine because I'm going to tell you right now, I have a really weird take on abortion. I'm going to tell you that right from the get-go, okay? I'm 100% pro-choice. Always have been. Ladies, I said it was weird. For the love of God, stop getting in the trunk of the car. Just wait to the end. You're supposed to vet me first. Woo! Fucking feed out the sunroof. I said I had a weird take. Pro-choice always made sense to me because I don't like people telling me what to do. And I always just like, it's your body. Who the fuck am I to tell you what to do with your body? So that always made sense, all right? However, I still think you're killing a baby. See? That's where it gets weird. Like, I sit on the fence and the whole thing makes sense to me. Whatever anybody's saying, like, don't tell me what to do. It's my body, my choice. That's right, man. She's right. Leave her the hell alone. Oh, you're killing a baby. Well, I mean, there is that. You know? I mean, you know, if we're going to be honest, that is the whole purpose of the procedure. You know, you're not going in there because you got an earache. You're going in there because you're like, I got a baby in me, get the fuck out of here. Right? You walk in with a baby, you come out without one. What happened to the baby, right? Something fucking happened. So, pro-choice people are like, well, it's not a life yet. It's not a baby yet. If you do, I don't know what they say, before you do the first Thursday or the last Tuesday and you spin around one time, they dance between the raindrops. It's not a baby yet. That's what they say, which may or may not be true. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but I'll tell you, my gut tells me that doesn't make sense. It's not a baby yet. That would be like if I was making a cake and I poured some batter in a pan and I put it in the oven, and then 5 minutes later you came by and you grabbed the pan, you threw it across the floor, and I went, what the fuck, you just ruined my birthday cake? And then you were like, well, that wasn't a cake yet. It's like, well, it would have been. If you didn't do what you just did, there would have been a cake in 50 minutes. Something happened to that cake, you cake murdering son of a bitch. Right? Now, before all you pro-life people get excited, I think it's great you're killing your babies. It's fantastic. Help Mother Nature out. There's too many of us. It's been 130 degrees out. Animals are going extinct. There's plastic in the fucking ocean. We don't need any more fucking people. And especially, you know, if you're honest with yourself, have you done anything great with your life?
I'd just gotten back from a long stretch on the road, worn out, and just wanting a peaceful night at home. A decade of marriage was supposed to mean safety, loyalty, and warmth. But something in the back of my mind told me this evening wasn't going to go the way I expected. I turned the key, half expecting the usual sounds, the refrigerator humming, her voice singing over the shower, maybe the kids goofing around somewhere in the house. Instead, I caught a different kind of laughter, the kind that made my blood run cold. I set my bag down carefully and walked toward the bedroom, never imagining that's where I'd find the end of everything. And there they were, my wife, curled up comfortably on her boss, right on the bed we'd shared for years. Time just stopped. 10 years of history, of memories, of a life we built together, crumbled in an instant. For a moment, I just stood frozen, letting it sink in. She looked up, guilt written all over her face, but not enough to make her move. He looked startled too, but that startled look quickly shifted into something like entitlement, like he had every right to be there. My fists tightened at my sides, but I breathed slowly and kept my voice level. No shouting, no screaming, no storming in. Instead, I stepped forward with a stillness that unsettled them both, more than rage ever could, and held my hand out toward him. "She's yours now," I said flatly, letting every word land with weight. "I'll get her things together." Their faces went pale. They'd braced for fury, not composure. I walked to the closet and started gathering her clothes without a word, folding each piece carefully, laying it all into a bag. Every blouse, every dress, every piece of jewelry she discarded while chasing this affair went into that suitcase deliberately, like a quiet statement. "This is what you gave up." Behind me, she was pleading, rushing through excuses, but I tuned her out. I didn't need her version of events. I'd already noticed the red flags, the deceit, the alibis, the growing distance between us. What I felt wasn't fury. It was clarity. I realized right then that I didn't need her anymore. The person I'd loved for 10 years had disappeared, replaced by someone I no longer recognized. And for once, I felt light. Her boss finally opened his mouth, trying to sound tough. "You can't just do this," he said. I didn't glance up. I kept folding, hands calm, pulse even. "I'm not doing anything to her," I answered quietly. "I'm handing her over to you. Everything she is now, she's yours." He looked confused, thrown off by how unbothered I seemed. He'd expected to feel powerful, to stand over a man he assumed was weaker. He never realized real strength isn't loud. Sometimes it's quiet. It walks into a room, packs a bag, and leaves the wreckage where it belongs. And in that stillness, I felt a satisfaction he'd never understand. My wife reached for me, begging, "This isn't what you think." Her voice broke as she said it, but I was past caring how it looked. I'd spent years trying to save something she never intended to keep whole. The damage was permanent already. Her begging bounced off walls that no longer held any trust. I closed the suitcase and looked her dead in the eye, my voice flat. "It's exactly what it looks like, and now it's yours to deal with." She sank onto the mattress, sobbing, finally grasping that this quiet response cut far deeper than any argument ever could. What followed was a heavy, unbearable silence. Her boss just watched me. Her eyes jumped between us, searching for some way to undo what had already happened. There was none. I wheeled the suitcase toward the door, each footstep deliberate, like the closing beat of a story ending. I stopped once, looked back at the man she'd thrown everything away for, and said, "She's your problem now." My tone wasn't bitter. It was simple, final. I watched the fear creep into his face. He was just now realizing he'd walked into a situation where he thought he had control, but the outcome had already been decided by me. I understood then that real power isn't about wanting something, it's about command. Once I left that bedroom, I called a taxi to send her and her bag to her parents' place. I didn't stay to watch her go. I didn't want her apologies, her justifications, her tears. All I wanted was the plain truth, that I had chosen my own worth over 10 years built on lies. I walked through every room of that house, burning each memory she'd ruined into my mind, and quietly vowed to myself that I'd come back stronger, smarter, and free of anyone who could betray me like that again. This wasn't my ending. It was me taking my life back. By the time that taxi disappeared down the street, some of the weight from those 10 years finally lifted. I sat quietly on the edge of the bed, taking in the silence she left behind. There was sadness, sure, but also an odd sense of peace. I realized I'd tolerated far more than I should have for far too long. And now life was handing me the chance to start over. The calm inside me wasn't hollow or numb. It was liberation. I was finally rid of someone who'd stopped valuing everything we'd built. And that kind of freedom, after being betrayed, was worth more than anything. Her calls started almost right away, panicked, disbelieving. "Please, I made a mistake. Come home," she begged through the phone, voice trembling. But I didn't pick up. I didn't reply. I refused to give her another chance to twist my emotions. She'd given that up the moment she picked someone else over what we had. My silence said everything. It hit harder and cleaner than any words ever could. She finally understood that no apology, no crying, no explanation could fix what she'd broken. Time went on. Her texts slowed down. Her boss stopped reaching out too. And for the first time in a long while, I felt genuine peace, the kind that comes from facing betrayal not with anger or panic, but with quiet, steady resolve. I didn't want revenge. I didn't need her to admit anything. I chose myself, plain and simple. And through that choice, I found strength I never knew existed. Betrayal, I've learned, can either break you completely or push you toward the life you actually deserve. Months later, I sold that house. I found a smaller place, filled it with things that made me happy, and surrounded myself with people who actually valued me. Sometimes her name comes up, or a message pops up on my screen, but I never respond. I don't need closure anymore. I already have it. The betrayal she thought would break me ended up setting me free. Walking in that day and seeing her with her boss was the worst moment of my entire life, and somehow also the most freeing. Sometimes real power isn't found in revenge, punishment, or tears. It comes from walking away with calm, with confidence, and leaving everything toxic behind.